when you're tall, you can't really ask for help. You know what I mean? Like, once your shit start breaking down, where you're like, I watched that with my dad. My dad had Alzheimer's. My dad's a little bit taller than me. My dad's like 6'4", 6'5". Whoo! Getting that man in and out of the shower, up and down the steps, it was like brutal, man, to the point where I'm like, man, why don't you just die already? You know what I mean?
You a heavy-ass dude, man.
You hurt my back, I'm going to be fucked up like you.
Goddamn woolly mammoth trying to take a shower.
Right.
Daddy, you know I ain't got no insurance.
Nigga, you a dinosaur.
Let me tell you something. My dad had but they couldn't do nothing. You know what I mean? They're just all tiny women that was also his age, like in their 60s. You want me to call somebody? Like, you just know other old people. There's nothing that we can do on this. And I'm not going to call another young, strapping young man to come in here and help me wash my dad.
So your dad was even when he had the like Alzheimer's and stuff like that?
Oh, my God. Yo, let me tell you.
Remember
that was his... I would tell you, this is how I used to have to get my dad. This is how I used to have to trick my dad to get in the shower. Because my dad, he would just, rest in peace. He's gone, so we can talk about this. My dad, when he deteriorated, it was kind of cool to watch because he just became like a kid.
Okay.
Like, I would come to the crib and he would just be like naked, sitting in the recliner that he just like pissed in all day long. Yeah. You know what I mean? And you'd be like, come on, Pop. What are you doing? And he'd be like...
It's really wild you preface that by like, this is kind of cool. Like,
because he was doing what he wanted to do. He wasn't wrong.
You want to sit naked and recline and piss all day.
Yeah. He wasn't hurting nobody. It was his house, his chair. He paid for it. And he would always tell me like, hey, man, if I
Piss is sterile.
He'd be like, if I'd have known you was coming, I'd have baked the cake. You know what I mean? That was always his line. Like, nigga, don't come in here judging my shit. Yeah. Like, if I'd have known you was coming, I'd have baked the cake. But I forgot, nigga. So
I forgot.
I used to have to go through like my dad's mail, but also like his voicemail. I remember people used to complain because his voicemail was full. And when you go through his voicemail, it was nothing but women from the church. Where you been? How come you're not calling me back? Like grown women that was still looking to tie him down. Because my dad went through a phase in his 50s. After my dad got divorced, he found him and his homies. They found a cool way to get women in the church. They just all became ushers. They didn't care about church. They would just I get to stand up in my suit and I seat all the ladies. So it was just a feeding frenzy for them. They would just pull old chicks from the church all day long.
All day long.
So these women were still looking for my pot. Like one time my dad had what we call an unsupervised fall, right? So anytime, like if you ever find an old person on the floor, you have to take them to the hospital. You're kind of required by law because you just don't know how hard was the fall, and they're more brittle than we are. So something might break and they won't tell you. That's how old people be having broken hips and just be living with that shit or dislocated shoulder and you didn't know. So man, I take my dad to the hospital, right? Excuse me. Someone else had took him. I got the call. I was at work. I left work, go to the hospital, and I get to the hospital. My dad is on a gurney in the hallway. Okay. Because the hospital is like crowded, so they can't even get him a room in emergency, and he's not like a top priority. It's an unsupervised fall. He seems fine. They just got to do a quick observation, and then he'll be out. So when I get there and I find him, there's a woman talking to him, and there's a woman who... She's like, when I walk up, the conversation is literally, all right, so when you get out of here, you going to call me and we going to get that pizza, all right? And I'm like, hey, how you doing, love? And she goes, oh, are you his son? And I go, yeah. Are you Anton? So family all knows me as Anton. That's my middle name. My mom started calling me that when she stopped fucking with my dad.
Okay.
Because my dad's name is David.
Dad.
So she goes, are you Anton? I known you since you was a little boy. You probably don't remember me when your dad used to live on Fayette Street. I was behind on the house across the driveway. Yeah. Right. So it's like one of them type situations. They was probably bumping uglies back in the day.
Oh, for real, yeah.
Because the funny thing, she's like, I know your mother. I know everybody.
Oh, you
She's
do?
like, I know the layout of your house.
Yeah.
Right.
I know what your daddy likes it.
Right. Exactly.
What he likes.
Exactly. So she was like, I was just telling him once he gets out of here, we're going to go ahead and probably go out and get some pizza or something. You know what I mean? You still up there at
lots of soda you.
Yeah, my mom, she's like, you still there at the house in Roxborough, right? And I look at this lady and I go, ooh, lady, did you pay attention to his paperwork? And she go, oh, I didn't have to. I know him. I know all his information. I go, no, he's in a nursing home. He's got Alzheimer's. This lady who was she was the manager of the hospital, but she just saw someone that she knew, reminiscent dick, and she took over.
Yeah.
Like she literally, I'll take care of this. And she was setting up a date for herself. And when I told her, I'm like, shorty, he got Alzheimer's. Like there's no date between you two. He's going back to the home from here.
You know what that's called? It's called a smashback.
Wait, what is a smashback?
Like a flashback. Are you fucking somebody? It's called a smashback. So you go.
Yeah. Rose
what?
from Titanic had that. That was the
Yeah.
whole movie.
She had a
It's a
smashback.
That was
she
all
was
it
like,
was.
wait a minute.
She's like,
He
man,
did fuck in that car.
Yeah. He fucked me
She
so
had
hard.
a smashback and then just negated the fact this nigga don't even have no mind.
Bro, she never read his paperwork.
That's
and she
crazy.
didn't even she was so hungry for a man
Hey.
that she didn't even realize he wasn't even responding
That's
properly.
crazy.
She was just setting up a date and he's just sitting there.
Was she like shocked that when she heard that he had Alzheimer's?
Say it again.
Was she shocked that he had Alzheimer's?
And embarrassed.
Yep.
Embarrassed.
And embarrassed.
He's a nurse.
Because it was like she saw, my dad was like me. He was tall, he took care of himself. He's in shape and all that kind of stuff like that. But like, it
She saw the future.
Yeah, bro. And
She
when you
saw a rekindling.
nigga, when you get to be in your 60s, nigga, you start like, hey, where they at? Where they at? Like, you know what I mean? This episode of No Need for Apologies was performed in front of a studio full of people that were half listening while they were working on something else.